Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only, and for those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law, and through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and also an update on our $1 million challenge, so please stay tuned. In the previous video we did a stock update on ticker symbol MMAT, Metamaterials, and also a potential gamma squeeze. It's very similar to what happened with Overstock, so please refer back to the previous video for details of this potential squeeze. We also looked at rumours affecting the new ticker symbol MMTLP. Before we start today's stock update and analysis, a quick reminder of our $1 million challenge. This is looking at a journey of investing $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using strategy called compound return investing. So we're looking to achieve 201 trades with an average return of 3.5%. So it's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses as well. We have a special spreadsheet for the challenge which has low risk stocks, many of them, just to give you that 3.5% plus return. We have a Discord community now well in excess of 300 working together on the challenge, sharing information, sharing knowledge, sharing trading tips, technical analysis, chart analysis, etc. The Discord community also has a dedicated area for this challenge, and this includes an agreement section, FAQ section. We have a chat and questions section. We have the stock spreadsheet is also available here, an opportunity to share your buys, king alerts and queen alerts, and we also have a leaderboard and update section. So if anybody's interested, details are in the description below, and it would be great if you join us on this journey of $1 million challenge. In today's video, what I'd like to do is focus on some key questions with regard to ticker symbol MMTLP and also with regard to ticker symbol MMAT. Before we proceed to look at some of the specific questions that have been received, one thing I'd like to do first of all is pass on a message to George and also pass on a message to the company Metamaterials. So if anybody is able to do that, there is one request that I'd like to make, and that is if by any reason of legality you are unable to comment, please just say so. So if you are not unable to comment on what is going on right now due to legal reasons, please just tell us that you're not able to comment. That is sufficient. That's all we need to know. So you are allowed to say that. You are allowed to say I'm not able to comment. That's all we need. So silence is the problem. We do need communication, and all you need to say, George, is I cannot comment. That's all. Before we look at some specific questions, there are a few things I'd like to share with you. The first thing I'm going to share with you here is a message being trending currently on social media, and the headline in this message on the screen you'll be able to see is "Don't sell your MMTLP shares." So this is a message I do agree with. So let's have a look at the key principles of this message, and what it's saying here in the first paragraph is confirmed that short positions and hedge funds are trying to make your preferred dividend shareholder the preferred dividend shareholder sell your dividend for a lesser value. So we've seen this lesser value initially start off at 10 cents. Short positions know that the sale of the land that goes towards a dividend is going to be valued extremely high. So in my previous video you will see that this was in excess of $200 billion in one of the calculations that I did. So I do agree that the land is worth exceptionally high amount, especially now as we are seeing oil and gas increasing in value. So this is going to be a problem for the shorts because they will be required to pay back the high dividend. So it's a dangerous situation for them. So we're going to look at potential manipulation of what's going on here, but let's finish off by looking at the rest of this message. So on October the 7th, Metamaterials preferred dividend became tradable on many platforms, not all platforms, so that's not true. It's saying here it was all platforms. I can confirm that's not true because it's not tradable on Trading 212 and many others as well. So the company did not make an official announcement regarding this, and my message to the company is just say no comment if you are unable to, and that's sufficient. We will get the message. Just say no comment if you are not able to, but please don't remain silent. The hedge funds right now are manipulating the situation. Short positions are getting worried, so what they are doing is creating this fear, creating this uncertainty, and making some shareholders panic and sell for a lesser value. What we're seeing here is if anybody is able to buy up these shares, MMTLP, we're talking about the OTC ticker, there's a statement here saying you may be eligible for the special dividend that is going to be available before the end of December the 31st. I'm not actually 100% agreeing with this statement here in terms of whoever holds these shares will get the dividend. I do disagree with that. My position on this is that is still unconfirmed and that is still unknown. If you buy these shares, my position is I don't believe you should be entitled to the dividends. So just by buying this on the OTC market should not enable you to be qualifying for the dividends. The dividends should be for the people who initially held on the qualifying date with the torch shareholders initially who held on the qualifying date. Only those people should get this special dividend, nobody else, not anybody who buys these shares. That is something I think is certainly a grey area and we're going to look at. The next thing I'd like to share with you is a tweet from Fidelity Investments. So if we have a look at the screen here, I think this is an important message for everybody here to be aware of that that has been conveyed by Fidelity Investments. So let's have a look at this. October the 7th, they released a tweet and what they've said is MMTLP represents the preferred share issued from Metamaterials as a result of the reverse merger completed with Torchlight Energy. Please contact us if you would like to trade the MMTLP share. So that is something I think I take exception with. Why are they asking people to trade this share? You know, with this so-called intention of maybe people losing their right to this special dividend. So it's not a good message there as far as I'm concerned. They go on to say, preferred shares are issued with a face value. This is effectively an arbitrary price chosen by the issuing company. Please refer to the company's investor relations page for more information. Thank you for reaching out. So not a great message here from Fidelity. What I'd now like to do is share a follow-up to this tweet from Fidelity Investments. I'd like to give a special thanks to Trey Subway Cup. And thank you very much for this response to the tweet, Trey. In terms of your tweet, I think it's a good message. So what Trey has said is, Dear Fidelity, F you. You're the only broker allowing unethical trading of MMAT MMTLP Torch Placeholder Dividend Shares. You will torch, winter is coming. So I think the key message Trey is trying to say here is the company Fidelity seem to be encouraging people with these preference shares to lose them by selling them for on the cheap for maybe 10 cents, 20 cents, $1, 50 cents, whatever price people may have sold them for. So not great at all. Let's now have a look at a promise that George made to all people who invested in Torch. And so I'll give another shout out to Exact Perspective 508. And what he said here, he shared this initial tweet from George that we had on June the 14th. And what Exact Perspective has said is the CEO of Metamaterials posted this tweet on June the 22nd was supposed to be the cutoff date for dividends. How can we trade a dividend that hasn't been announced yet? So this is the tweet from George. So George said on June the 14th, MMAT swag are being organized as promised. Nice release by Torch. Dividend date is 06/24, so the 24th of June. 10-day notice required. There is a T+2 rule, so the last chance to be in Torch Energy is Tuesday, the 22nd of June. End of day. So that's the date stated by George, and that's the promise made by George. What I would now like to convey in terms of a personal message is that, in my opinion, everybody who should be getting these special dividends should be people who held on those qualifying dates. I do not believe anybody who is buying these shares on the open market should get the special dividend. That is not what was promised. That's not what was agreed. So if anybody loses their right to the special dividend because of trading this preference share on the open market, then I think we have a serious problem. So let's have a look at some tweets from people who have highlighted these concerns. So first of all, on the screen here, shout out to John BT. It says, hedge funds and brokers are colluding with each other to create the illusion that special dividends are tradable. This is a scam and can be used in late suites if you really wanted to. So I think it means lawsuits there. Israel Gomez has gone on to say, we do not need to talk about possible downsides to buying more MMTLP. Of course not. Do not sell. So good message there. But what could happen by retail investors buying up all these shares, especially if no one is selling, then technically they are synthetic. And Israel has gone on to say at the bottom here, how the F can anybody buy the preferred shares now, question mark. There has to be a certificate for the true owners at record date. If it's confirmed it's a manipulation, is it legal, question mark. And this is obviously dirty as AF. So very strong messages, a lot of investment anger. We do need clarification, and this is one of the reasons why I'm requesting the company just come out and say, sorry, we can't comment because of legal reasons, or for clarification, this is what's going on. So we need some communication. And finally, before we look at the questions, I'd like to give a shout out to Dreaming Big on MMAT Reddit page. And I think he shared an important message in terms of creating more confusion. So what he said here is, this is corruption. If they're this desperate to commit a crime to cover, squeeze them of every penny you can. Floor is up to us. So the message here is, just spoke to Mark at Meta Investor Relations. Meta has nothing to do with MMTLP being traded. It's market makers trading OTC. He said nothing new has changed with the dividend and December still deadline. So the allegation here is that the hedge funds or the shorts are looking at some manipulation in terms of making people lose their preference shares, making people to sell, making people get rid of them. There's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of panic. So we need clarification, and if there is some manipulation going on, then I think somebody needs to consider obviously legal issues and lawsuits here as well. We're going to look at some questions now. However, before we look at the questions, what I would like to say is, unfortunately, for many of the questions, there may not be a specific guaranteed correct answer. Many of the questions are going to be led with more questions. There may be some speculative answers as well. So let's try our best. So first question on the screen here is from Ro Whitlock. So what Ro has said on the comments, he said, do you think, for example, if an investor buys 10k preferred shares, do you think that said investor will get paid for the preferred shares bought, or just the preferred shares he was already holding? So the question here, I think what Ro is implying is, if you buy these MMTLP shares, will you also get the dividend as well as the shares? In my opinion, you should not be entitled to that, but I have just seen there is speculation out there that the people will get the dividend. I don't agree with that. I think the agreement that George has said, and I think the message that George has said, is that if you held those shares on the qualifying date, then you should be entitled to the dividends, not anybody else. So that's my position. Question 2 is from Luke Gadd, and this is for everybody investing through Trading 212 in Europe and in the UK. And the question here is, anybody get their placeholder on Trading 212 yet? So the answer is no. As far as I'm concerned, nobody has received these placeholder shares. However, I think Interactive Brokers has provided some of them for investors in the UK. So that could mean there is a possibility that we may get something on Monday. We have to wait and see. So if anybody can get in touch with Trading 212 about this, please add in the comments. That would be great to know. The next question is from Plumeria 3494. So the question here is MMTLP even a legitimate stock? It feels as though my preferred placeholders is held in made up stock. So I think a lot of people are feeling that way in terms of the unexpected taking place. Nobody expected to receive these shares on the OTC market with ticker symbol MMTLP. That's taken everybody by surprise. So we have a reply from Bob, and Bob has said, it's not do not sell. If you sell, you lose your rights to the real dividend. So my position on this is, if I am given MMTLP shares, I will not sell. You make your own financial decisions, but my position is I will not be selling these. The next question is from John T. User, and this is quite a common question. And the question here is, who's to guarantee we will get our dividends on December the 31st? So this was a promise made by the company. I believe that we will. It is a binding agreement as far as I'm concerned, so there is still time. We're getting closer and closer, so I'm very confident that we will receive our dividends. The next question here is from Miles, and Miles has said, this is not the dividend itself, this is your right to the dividend, HODL. So again, this is a question in terms of yes, is this the dividend? No, I agree with that. It's not the dividend. Is this your right to receive the dividend? Certainly that's how it appears, that's how it looks. However, we have also seen some confusing messages in terms of this has got nothing to do with the stock. So time will tell. But the key message as far as I'm concerned is if I receive these MMTLP shares, then certainly I will not be selling those. Next question is from Tina Tran, and Tina's asked again an important question, which I think is not a specific answer, but let's have a look at the question. Can you please tell me what happened? I sold those shares from the dividend. So I think if Tina has sold those shares, does she lose the right to the dividend? So my response here is, unfortunately, there's no official answer from the company because the company are remaining silent. So we will have to wait and see. However, Yin Yang 0122 has said your preferred shares are long gone now. Sorry. So that is certainly a possibility. So that is one of the reasons why I will not be selling. So if you want to take that risk, it's down to you. However, I believe it's very exceptionally risky to sell if you do get these MMTLP shares. The next question is from Bob. It's more of a statement rather than a question, but let's have a look at it. He said, I called Meta today and talked to the investor relations guy. He said that MMAT nor Torchlight have anything to do with MMTLP. He said he could not go into any more details than that. So again, this is creates more suspicion in terms of, are the hedges behind this, are the shorts behind this? We've had no comment from the company, and what Bob has also said is that the company said they cannot go into any more details. So highly suspicious, very dubious, and everybody is in the dark. So are these shares your qualifying preference shares? The company have not officially stated so. So let's wait and see. And the next question is from Cordy Rainey, and he said here, the MMTLP shares are at $2.60. Should I sell or hold? Question mark. I don't know what to do. So again, buying and selling is obviously a personal decision. SL has also chipped in and said, I'm in the same boat. Somebody with stock knowledge help us small fish. So again, in terms of buying and selling decisions, that's entirely up to you. We are not financial advisors and we cannot say that. So the only thing I can share here is my personal decision is I don't care if they go to $3, $4. I will not be selling. Maybe if they go to $10, that's a possibility, but certainly not at this price. And the last thing I'd like to share with you is a message from Talat Azim, and this is more of a statement as well rather than a question, but it's something I think is a positive message. So let's finish on something positive here. And what he said here is, hedge funds are trying to create all sorts of confusion amongst MMAT and Torchlight shareholders. Nobody has the exact knowledge of what MMTLP shares are. Everything is speculation. Certainly good point there. Please guys, we have to be united and patient and do not sell anything. Who knows what the hedge fund's agenda is? To have us sell our preferred shares and eventually lose our rights to the dividend so they don't have to pay the dividend when it's officially announced. So again, I will be holding, and I think if you are considering selling these for $2, $1.50, $2.50, $3, that's your decision. However, it's certainly very dubious in terms of if the hedges are behind this, but you know, the message from my point of view is I will certainly not be selling. And finally, in terms of what's going on, I think just a final reiteration of the message that I stated at the beginning, and that is, if the company can comment, that would be great. If George can send a tweet, that would also be great. What I don't want to see is many people losing out on a potential dividend because of misinformation, miscommunication, lack of knowledge. So let's have some clarification, and I think all shareholders do deserve this. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.